Hi. So this is kind of Deacon Jody dose. I had said earlier today when I did the Deacon Jody Daily that I would probably do another video later in the day, and I'm gonna pull a couple of things together. Maybe not go too long, but what prompted this was Father Mike Schmitz did a talk on infant baptism, and it made me think of a few things that I wanted to share. First, let me just give you the foundation from his video. This is mostly for the Mike's information. First of all, infant baptism has been happening since the beginning of the church. We have, you know, historical documented evidence of it, and so um, it's part of the church. And the story he tells is that there was a family who converted and they had an infant and they had a 15-year-old. And the infant got baptized, but the 15-year-old had to go through OCIC, the Order of Christian Initiation for Children. And the 15-year-old kept saying, well, why can't I just be baptized? So that's the context of Father Mike's video, which is for infants, they can't make a choice. They can't share their faith. They can't make a faith declaration. So the parents do it for them. And it's historical evidence of people, faith, being exhibited for other people. And he gives this example of the four and it lowered the crippled man down from the ceiling. How it was their faith that was evidence that led to the healing of the paralytic. So um, in an infant baptism, the parent's faith is manifested in the baptism. For someone that can make the decision, um, they have to choose. And this 15-year-old keeps saying, I'm ready. Well, but what Father Mike is emphasizing in his video is that um, uh, sometimes you need more information. You just want to make sure that the declaration um, is with full information and knowledge and understanding. And so that's why there's a process. And what he was explaining through the process is sometimes when you wait for a process, God can manifest uh, other things through the process. And most people grow through the process, and it's more formational than informational. And what I wanted to share was that exact thing happened to me in the formation for the diaconate. Um, I'm called to the process and I go meet with the deacon director and you I have an ebook. If you want to get it, you can get it on eBay. Um, I mean Amazon, um, and you can download it. And it's 19 pages and it tells this story. But what the story is that I go to the deacon director and he was not easy on me. And he talks about a process. And part of it was going through this thing called the Religious Studies Institute. And it's 3 years of uh, uh, undergraduate level courses through an undergraduate seminary. By extension, the courses were done here in Baton Rouge, the seminaries in another town in Louisiana. Um, and I resisted. I said, look, I have a law degree from Loyola. I could very easily get into a master's program at Loyola, get a master's in theology instead of these undergraduate courses. It just didn't make sense to me from a human secular standpoint. If you're going to go to school, get credit for it. There's no way you get credit for these RSI classes because you can get credit, but you can't get a degree because only seminarians can get a degree from the seminary. And being married, I'm not a seminarian, so I couldn't do it. So it seemed worthless to me at the time. But what I want to emphasize is that I was not called to be a deacon. I was called to the process. So I submitted to the process. It wasn't easy, but I did. And the 3 years of formation that happened through the Religious Studies Institute were formational and not educational. I did learn some stuff. And some things. I mean, we had some really good classes, back and forth, and we have a lot of stories to tell about it. There was a lot of bonding with some of the classmates and the people that were in that class. Most of them, not most of them, the men who were striking for the diaconate, who were in that class, most of them got into the diaconate class program and finished and became deacons. So when I was ordained with 15 or 16, half of them had been in at RSI with us. So what I wanted to focus is what Father Mike Schmidt says is that through the patience and the waiting, sometimes the formation happens and the faith grows. And that's exactly what happened to me. So the purpose for this video is to use Father Mike's example of infant baptism as opposed to children baptism and share that with you in case you hadn't seen this video, and then tell you a personal story how sometimes we have to be patient through formation because God can work on us while we wait for whatever it is that we're trying to get to. So I hope this makes some sense to you. I hope it strikes a chord with you. And if it does, feel free to leave me a like and share and all the good stuff that I always ask you about. And I'll shoot this video out and y'all will have access to it in a little bit. You pray for me. I'll pray for you. God bless everybody.